Hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome. Hi, Lucy.
Hi, hey Morgan. Hi everybody.
So welcome. Today we have a question for our community. And our question is, have you ever experienced a challenge manifesting the things you want in your life? So I know Lucy and I have come up against this in our individual lives. And some of the more conventional manifesting teachings and techniques that we have learned, we found don't always work for us. So maybe you've found that as well, that some things maybe work for you, or maybe you see that others are having great success with these teachings and techniques, but something's just not working for you. So today, Lucy and I are going to be talking about how to supercharge your manifesting practice. So we have some tips and tools for you that are going to help you with manifesting and make it more easier and more in the flow for you.
Awesome.
Yes.
Sounds amazing. I'm excited. So Morgan and I, as Morgan was saying, we have tried all of the
So
tools
today,
out there. So, oh, is there a bit of a echo? No. We've tried all of the tools out there, including vision boards and law of attraction, moon manifesting circles, you name it. So we were talking about this topic, and as we were talking about it, we realized that through all of those different practices, we felt that there was something missing, and turns out that there was. So the thing that was missing was knowing the difference between what our head wanted versus what our heart actually needed. So, knowing the difference between what the head was telling us that we wanted versus what the heart knew that we needed, right? So, a lot of the tools that are mentioned previously, such as the law of attraction, for example, we found were more mentally based. So the focus was all about forming a visual picture to focus on and have a specific set of goals to pursue, um, rather than actually tuning into what the heart needed. So one of the most powerful tools, as Morgan has mentioned, that we both discovered was human design. So when before I knew about human design, and I can speak from my own experience here, the problem for me with all of these other techniques of manifesting was that these goals and visual tools were all based on external pressures that I felt, which only led to feelings of frustration and anger when things didn't work out the way that I had planned. So when I started actually working with my natural energy to manifest, and the tool of human design helped me to do that, I found that what my heart actually needed was quite different to what my mind wanted. So, for example, I was far more interested in actually manifesting true connection and friendship and collaboration and authenticity instead of a new job with a higher paycheck, more money and a fancy vacation every 3 months. Turns out part of that heart led manifestation was also to create a slower, more meaningful pace of life. Which, the irony was, I thought that if I had the higher paying job, I would eventually get to a slower, more meaningful pace of life. So it was a shift from really listening to the mind versus listening to the heart.
beautiful. Yeah, I agree. That's the same with me. That's been quite an insightful journey to stop
Mm-hmm.
stop listening so much to what the head or the mind is like, all the chatter, and really
Yeah.
tuning into the heart. Yeah, that's beautiful. So,
Yeah.
another aspect of human design, of the human design chart, which is really interesting, is it helps you to find the way you are designed to be motivated. and this can help you in manifesting. So Lucy and I are currently experimenting with the motivation aspect in our charts. And so if you want to find this in your human design chart, you can go to a site like geneticmatrix.com, and we'll put that in the chat. And you register for a free account, add your birth details, and it'll present you with a chart. And what it'll be is the foundation chart in a quantum view. And what you want to do is just select the mind view. So you're seeing the mind, the chart is the body and the mind. So you'll see the mind side, and it'll show you what your motivation is listed as what you are designed to be motivated by. So motivation describes how you are designed to share your uniqueness with other people. So what pulls you away from living in that beautiful uniqueness is called transference. So the two, motivation and transference, go hand in hand, and they are basically counterbalances to help each of us individually grow and develop. So if you understand your motivation and the transference, it can give you really valuable insights to help you know if you're on track. So for example, in my chart, my motivation is guilt, which, yes, sounds pretty intense, with the transference of hope. So this, in my understanding and in my experimentation with it, this guilt motivation is driven by the need to fix things, to take action. And if I don't fix things and do nothing about it, that would be considered being in transference, in this like hope, being in this hope, that hoping that things will happen. So when I'm in that, usually I feel really guilty if I'm doing nothing, and then it's like, oh my God. So I'm feeling guilty if I don't fix things. And so through that, I've learned that it's not required, I'm not required to fix every problem on this planet. And I cannot fix every problem on this planet, even though I would love to. So yeah. So I get, and what happens is, as a generator, I get that frustration when I'm doing nothing, and in transference, which is this hope, like hoping on something. So yeah, and another interesting thing for me personally is that when I hear the word hope, there's a feeling of hopelessness in there. And maybe it's just me that feels that, but that could be because it's that the transference side of the motivation. So, and that often makes me feel powerless. So I know when I'm starting to feel that and the frustration, that I need to really take a look at what's going on. And and a situation happened the other day. And where I really felt it wasn't, so another person felt that hope. And when I started to feel that, I just got so frustrated because it just didn't align with my design or my energies, obviously. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, nothing can be done, which isn't really true. But that is what came up with for me, sorry, without going into all the details. But how about you, Lucy? How has motivation and transference, how have you experienced it?
Well, I just, what you were saying is it's so powerful, and this is why the tool of human design, I think, is it can really lead to very empowering shifts in our lives, certainly in the way that we approach manifesting, but also just in terms of how we work with our own energy. Because sometimes, like the shifts are subtle. Do you know what I mean? Like you were describing the difference in energy between the guilt motivation versus hope. And sometimes, the terminology in human design can be a little confusing. But when you start to explore it and contemplate it, like you were sharing with us, you can really start to sense the difference in the energy. And so for me, my motivation is innocence and the transference of that. So the when I'm working against my energy, that comes through as desire. Now that's really interesting, isn't it? Because so many, like we were saying earlier, manifesting practices are all about, desire and express your desire and follow your desire. And so I was contemplating it earlier. And I think for me, what I've come to realize, certainly this far in my experiment, is in practical terms, for me personally, with innocence as my motivation, it's about manifesting from a place that really feels in alignment with my core values rather than being driven by my desires. So, desire for me feels like more of a push energy. There is a desire feels like a something you go out and you strive for. You initiate, you go and you pursue desire. Whereas innocence is more about responding to what arises. So there's a subtlety in energy, there's a subtle difference there. And I think for me, the core difference comes down to how we actually utilize and play with our own precious willpower. So that to me has been my experience so far of working with my motivation and experiencing, working pretty much in transference my whole adult life, up my willpower energy in a way that was exhausting and overwhelming. So, yeah, that's been really a big, powerful shift for me.
Yeah. Nice. Yes. Ooh, that willpower.
Yeah.
Yes. And I have that undefined will center. So
Mm-hmm.
that's been that's a whole other topic for another day.
Yeah.
Yes, that willpower. Very yeah. So that leads into the next sort of point is that this idea of experimenting with allowing versus pursuing. So one of the main things that's been helpful for both Lucy and I to manifest is to manifest with our energy rather than against it. So another way to work with your energy or allow manifesting to flow better is to look at the variables in the human design chart. And that's the arrows on the top of the chart. So you can also go to geneticmatrix.com as well. So in that chart that you get, you'll be able to see the arrows. And we're looking for, in the mind view, you'll have the bottom right hand arrow, and you look to see if it points to the left or to the right. And so a left pointing arrow is called a specific manifestor, and a right pointing arrow is a non-specific manifestor. Mm-hmm. So Lucy and I are both non-specific manifestors, and this has been quite eye-opening to learn more about this. Wouldn't you agree?
Huge. Yeah, that was a real whoa. Oh, yeah, amazing.
So I'll tell you about that. So if you have a left pointing arrow, it's specific manifestor. So it's the classic manifesting type, where it's a good idea for you to get super clear on what you're asking for. So you can make a list of what you want, and but the most really important part is to have fun with it, with making the list, and to get excited about what you're asking for and the details. So vision boards may work for you for specific manifestors. So it's really about those details. Like the magic is in the details. So take time to really think about what it is you want and even why you want it. So that can be, try it out and let us know how it goes for you. Yeah. So as non-specific manifestors, the right hand right arrow. So this is more about giving the universe a few more options to choose from. So it's like having a menu for the universe to have a menu that can choose what dish they would like, or they. Then let it go. So not to attach so much to the details or the specificity of it. So the magic for us non-specific manifestors is to tune into the essence of what it is you want or how you want to feel. So not necessarily the details or the specifics, but the feeling of it or the essence or, just many different options and how that would all flow together. So yeah, Lucy, do you want to share anything with that or how your experience has been?
Sure. Yes. I think for me, learning that I was a non-specific manifestor, really, it was like a breath of fresh air and a real aha moment because suddenly everything, it just made sense. For so many years, I'd been taught, and I'm sure many of you will relate to this, by books such as The Secret, for example, that in order to manifest what we desire, there's that word again, that we need to use our willpower to attract or to pull in what we want for ourselves. And, that just didn't work for me. I was always left wanting or feeling angry or, because it didn't work out. And the thing that I realized about being a non-specific manifestor that you've touched on, Morgan, is about not placing limits on how something should show up in my reality. So what I mean by that is I used to focus on getting really attached to the how, the when, the what, the who. And the challenge with that, being a non-specific manifestor, is to let go of it and to be open to receiving the gift from the universe, not the wrapping paper. I love that analogy that you receive the gift, but not the wrapping paper. In other words, embrace the gifts that are being delivered to you instead of turning your back on the universe and saying, no, this isn't the package I ordered. This isn't, it doesn't look how I want it to look. And that's been such an eye-opener and a heart opener actually for me to recognize just how many gifts I am receiving all the time. So when I'm not focusing my mental energy on specific outcomes and specific visual outcomes, how things should look, I'm able to just really be open to receive gifts in all kinds of ways that are more elegant than I could ever imagined. So that's been my experience.
Yeah. Beautiful explanation. Yeah, that is worded so beautifully. Thank you. Yeah. I feel that as well. It's been just so much more than I could have ever maybe even thought of or imagined.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's challenging to let go. I mean, just for me personally, I'm just speaking for me personally. Letting go of that attachment or even control around everything, or feeling like I need to have a tight grip on it. It's like, no, actually you don't.
Yeah, totally. And it feels, like for me as well, it feels, first of all, it felt really counterintuitive because it goes against everything that we've been taught and that we've been conditioned to believe in society about how you go out and make things happen, But, just before we got onto this live, if we use the example of the Replenishing Life project as two people who are both non-specific manifestors, this is a brilliant example of having faith in that energetic process because, when we first started working on this project together last year, we had some specific ideas about what this would look and feel like as a project. But we let go of that, and the project took on a real life of its own. has become and continues to become something that's a lot more magical and expansive than anything we could have imagined had we been rigid about what it would look like. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. So we want to just extend our thanks to everybody for watching this video and for being here with us. We really, really appreciate you so much. And we just want to encourage you to explore your human design as a tool that can help you with your manifesting practice. And do, as Morgan said, do get back to us. Let us know. Are you a specific manifestor? Are you a non-specific manifestor? And how are you utilizing that insight in your practice? So we encourage you also to keep an eye out for more details about our next community class that's going to be coming up soon. And don't forget to join us again next week, where we will be doing another live video for you. Okay, so we'll see you all again soon. Bye.